Hey guys, Pond Solo Fishing. Alright, so what I want to talk about today is the NED Rig. So it's starting to get a little bit colder out and the fish are moving a little bit slowly. So now you have to start thinking about different ways that you can catch those fish. One of the best rigs, in my opinion, for fishing for slow moving fish is the NED Rig. So anytime it's super cold or super hot, so the extremes, the NED Rig seems to be one of the best tools to catch fish. Now one thing that's also great about the NED Rig is that the way that it's set up is it's meant to be a lower profile bait. It's meant to be something that you can steady reel, you can reel, stop. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, but I typically do a steady reel on a NED Rig. You can slow it down when the bite is slow, you can speed it up when the bite is fast. So there's a lot of versatility to it. And it's just something that truly works. It's a small, low profile bait that you're using, so it also will attract a wide variety of fish, but it doesn't stop you from catching the big ones either. This is actually probably something that most tournament pros are using. It just works. It just works. So if you're having a hard time catching fish, throw on a NED Rig and see what happens. All right, so the way that a NED Rig works is, first of all, you just buy it. It's basically just a jig head. All right, and there's a couple different sizes you can buy, different kind of weights, but really all it is it's a weight with a hook. That's it. It's just a jig head. That's all it is. And what you do is you just slide it on there like anything else. You want a nice smooth profile. Now here is one example of something you can NED Rig. So this of course would just be a standard minnow. You could probably make it straighter than this, but I was just trying to do it quickly. And then the best thing you can do always is to melt down this end with a lighter or throw some super glue on it so it stays nice and flush. All right, but you can NED Rig almost anything. This is the traditional way to NED Rig. Just a little NED Rig worm. They actually make worms just for this purpose, but it has a lot of action on it. Okay, again, small profile, so it'll pick up a lot of different types of bass, different species. You can catch, a wide variety of fish on these things. Here's an example with a Kayak. Now this is a much bigger profile than you would normally get on one, but it's freaking Kayak. So Kayaks work awesome. But again, this would be something I'm using with a fast retrieve. With a slow retrieve, it's just gonna look sad. But with a fast retrieve, this will still work pretty good. And here's something I don't see too many people doing, but it is something that you could do if you wanted to. But this is a tube. And the tubes work just fine. This is actually a pretty big tube. I might use a smaller tube personally, but that's what I grabbed. And then probably my favorite presentation is going to be this right here is a speed crawl. You can use the bigger crawls as well. I personally like the speed crawl. A little bit smaller profile, variety of different brands that you can use. And then one that also looks pretty freaking amazing. Let me show you. This one is the plasma tail. And here's the hook. That's just kind of what it looks like. So just small little hook. Okay, plasma tail is fantastic. And this is a bio spawn plasma tail that I'm using here. This one. And the hardest part is getting these things to line up straight, but if they don't line up straight, just melt the bastards. Melt the bastards with a lighter and you'll be good. That is a terrible lineup job, but as you can see, the plasma tail, a lot of action. Again, you'd probably want to use this with a fast retrieve, but it just shows that these things can be truly versatile. Now, the way that these things were originally made was out on the tournament scene when they weren't getting a lot of bites. They were taking regular worms. This one's already messed up, so I'll show you on this one. They're basically taking regular worms, and this is how it kind of became to be like a, like a 2.5, 3 inch kind of worm. So a lot of the worms at that time were 8 inch worms. This is kind of a small worm. Maybe I'll use a bigger worm for this purpose. But so they were basically taking these worms, and they were saying, okay, let's break them in half. Okay, now you get a much smaller profile, which as you can see, now that the NED worms are made to be that exact size. So you can literally make your own NED Rig worms. You don't have to buy any. If you have a bunch of worms already, You don't have to buy them. And this is actually a cheaper way to do it because the NED Rig worms cost the same price as the regular worms, sometimes more. But if you break them in half and you buy the regular ones, now you have 2 NED Rig worms. Look at that. Perfect. So this will give you a lot more variety of color as well. Because there aren't as many color options when it comes to NED Rig worms. Usually it's got your, traditional green pumpkin, June bug, that kind of stuff, and not much else after that. So if you like crazy colors like this, then, you're probably going to want to go ahead and just break worms in half. But like I said, fantastic rig. If you're not using a NED Rig, definitely worth a try. Like I said, it's perfect for super cold water, super hot water, both extremes where the fish are not moving very quickly. You just mix up that retrieve. So if it's a slow bite, get that slow retrieve. So obviously you're probably not going to use a plasma tail if it's super cold or super hot, because you need to move it a little faster to make that action work. But something like a craw is perfect. All right, so you got to mix up that retrieve, you got to mix up that profile that you want to use, and it just catches fish. It's a really great option to catch fish. I like personally throwing it around the docks. I throw it along the shoreline, get that nice slow retrieve where it drops off on the shore, and I catch fish all day with it. So it's a great rig. If you guys have any questions about it, let me know in the comments. Of course, make sure you hit the like button. Also, you are going to want to hit subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified when I post new videos. A lot of good content coming up, and we got a bunch of giveaways coming as well. So look for that. And of course, have a great day, and we will see you on the water.